All right, welcome to the webinar. Hopefully you guys can see and hear everything I'm saying and presenting online. Again, this is the success principles for salon owners specifically. Just 10 easy things you can start today to turn your salon into a $1 million salon. Again, my name is Kevin Gatto, and I'll introduce myself a little bit more in a second or two, but I just wanted to say thank you for your time today. And I apologize for any technical difficulties that I may experience. Hopefully we'll get through this webinar, and in the chat area you can write any questions that you would like me to answer. I'll try to get to that at the end of the seminar, but let's just get started. So this webinar is based off the book Jack Canfield's The Success Principles, How to Get From Where You Are to Where You Want to Be. This webinar is designed just to kind of give you a brief overview of 10 of the foundation principles of the book, 10 that I chose from my experience to be really critical in not only building your business, but really in guiding your life and really helping you get not only the business of your dreams, but get that life that you dream of and that, quite frankly, you deserve, because we all have our dreams that we want to move forward to. But these principles, these strategies, easily, when practiced on a daily basis, can double your income, double your results, whatever your measurable results are in your life. These principles can help you double it. I am on my way to that point now by using these principles. It has worked in my business. Without this book, I'm not quite sure where I would be. But whatever goals you have for yourself, for your business, you can use these principles along with the law of attraction. And I know that sounds really new agey and mystical and crazy, but whatever you think of the law of attraction, it could be positive mindset, goal setting, anything that you are looking towards, working towards, this will get you there. So this promise is made that if you work the principles and make a 100% commitment to them and to yourself, you can double your income, double your free time, and create a more harmonious and balanced life filled with joy. Some do it in 3 years, most do it on 2 years. And a little bit about me. Again, my name is Kevin Gatto. I'm a salon owner. I've been a spokesperson on QVC. I've done some beauty correspondence on CBS here in Philadelphia. I was an on-air correspondent doing beauty and lifestyle stuff. I do education for major manufacturers and a major distributor here in the Philadelphia marketplace. I own, as I said, I own a salon, and I'm a behind-the-chair stylist. So I know where you come from being a salon owner and being a stylist behind the chair. And that's a picture of me with Jack Canfield himself. I went to one of his seminars last year, and it was just an amazing experience. He's, I believe, 71 years old and has more energy than anyone else I know. And if you ever get the chance to go to one of his seminars, they're not crazy expensive, the one-day seminars. So it's worth a day of your life if you can get a chance to go hear him speak live and get this information direct from the source. A little bit about what's going on in the industry and why webinars like this and why I'm doing this and why what I see happening in the industry today and why personal and business development is so critical. Clients are busy and they're so demanding of our time and our scheduling. So we need to make sure that we are flexible in what we're providing them, in the times we're making accessible to them, because clients are tightening their wallets. Anytime we have a new administration, anytime we have a new president in office, and this is not anything about Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton, it doesn't matter who's president of the United States, anytime there's somebody new in that office, consumers get scared. There's always half that get scared and half that are maybe okay with it. But we have to be prepared for that and be conscious of how clients are spending their money. They want value for the money we're charging them and for what we're giving them. Their expectations are crazy high right now. So that value has to be equal or better than the price that we're charging. And I would even just say, forget the equal. It's got to be better than what we're charging them. So let's get right into it. This is the first of the 10 that I'm going to speak about today. And I want to jump right into this one is actually success principle number 1. It's the first one in the book. And it's about taking 100% accountability for your life. A lot of times we like to blame other people for things that are going wrong in our life, but we need to be accountable, not even just to others in our lives, but we need to be accountable for ourselves and really to our authentic selves, who we are, what we love to do, what we want to achieve. It all comes down into who is going to be responsible, who can we blame for the things that are going to happen in our lives. And quite frankly, I think this little quote sums it up perfectly. You cannot hire other people to do your push-ups for you. If you want something in life, it is totally your responsibility to get up, get off the couch, and go do it, and be 100% responsible for the results you get. And when the choices you make don't result in you getting the outcomes you wanted, you can look to understand what happened and what actions to take next, but not blaming others or circumstances. You have to understand that everything you do is 100% your choice. And sometimes what's done is done and you have to move forward, but everything's a learning process, and accountability is 100% going to get you there. Taking a really deep dive into what's good and what's bad in your business. Make a list, write what's good and what's bad in your business, and be honest. Be honest about what's going right and what's going wrong, so you can really make those changes that need to be done. Because quite frankly, this is another great saying: if it's meant to be, it's up to me. There's no one else I can rely on to help me get the results that I want and help me get the life and the business that I want. All right, success principle number 25. This is the second today of the 10 that I'm going to go over. And it's principle 25, drop out of the Ain't It Awful Club. So this is a meme that I found online. This is not something that I created, but I thought really kind of summed up what drop out of the Ain't It Awful Club really means. And for us, I know the meme says to be happy, but in order to really get to where we want to be in life, these are things we need to give up, and not give up tomorrow. We need to give up right this very second. And this is not an easy thing. This is actually something that I quite frankly struggle with myself. I think this is one of the hardest principles to work on because it takes the most effort. If you are somebody that tends to think negatively, getting rid of these things will help you move forward. And that first is complaining. And complaining means that we just have a point of reference or something better. We're just not willing to risk or work for anything to create it. So, when we're at work, we complain about people at home. When we're at home, we complain about the people at work. And we never talk to the people that are really the ones responsible for what those complaints really are. So we need to get rid of complaining because it does nothing but just makes us more miserable, and in the long term really prevents us from moving forward. The second thing, limiting beliefs, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this in a little bit, but limiting beliefs are those things that they're self-doubts, that little voice in our head that keeps telling us you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not good looking enough, you're not this enough, you're not talented enough, whatever. Those limiting beliefs are holding us back, and we only have ourselves to blame because most of those limiting beliefs are self-given, if that's even a word. I'm going to make that up today. A lot of it can be from conditioning we had as children, but once you reach the age of 18, 21, once you're an adult, it's really time to lay those limiting beliefs. The third, and that goes along with number 4, negative self-talk. I think they kind of go hand in hand. Number 3, blaming others. It's easy to blame the owner, blame the stylist, blame the assistant, blame the client, blame our spouse, blame this person, blame that one. Get you nowhere. Number 5 and number 6. I think number 5, we as humans tend to dwell a lot on the past. Like I said earlier, sometimes what's done is done. All you can do is pick yourself up and move forward. and learn from experiences in the past and recondition yourself to have different responses. And we're going to talk about that in a second so that you can move forward. Resistance to change, have an open mind to new information, to learn new things, to become a different person, become a better person. It makes the world a much better place. Number 7, the need to impress others. Sorry, I just need to take a sip of water. You know, we see this a lot on social media, and people are so guilty of getting depressed because we see other people's lives on social media, and some people are working so hard to impress us that a lot of it's not even real. So we don't really need to impress others. We just need to impress upon ourselves that we are just as valuable and important as other people are, whatever show they're showing in social media. Number 8, number 9, the need to always be right and the need for others' approval. They sound a little contradictory, but quite frankly, you know, there's something to be said for not trying to fight for always winning the argument, and really for other people's approval. The only opinion of ourselves that should matter and does matter is the opinion that we have of ourselves. And this is kind of sums it all up. Do you remember Martin Luther King's speech, "I Have a Complaint"? What was it called again? No, it wasn't called "I Have a Complaint." It was called "I Have a Dream." And, you know, if you really think about that speech, and if you ever have a chance, if you haven't heard it, go on Google the "I Have a Dream" speech and really listen to the words. And it really sums up what this principle means. And it means you need to focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Focus on your vision, not on your problems. If you keep focusing on your problems, you're just going to have more of them. But if you want to focus on your vision and you keep on focusing on your vision and your dreams and your goals, at some point you will get to those dreams and goals. It's all about that positive mindset, and it's all about moving forward. And a lot of it comes from this equation right here. And this is a really interesting equation. I'm not quite sure if some of you have seen this before or not, but this is something that I'm learning to manage. Quite frankly, it's not an easy thing, but I'll just jump right into it. E plus R equals O. E stands for events. These are the things that come at us on a daily basis. Maybe we got stuck in traffic. Maybe we were late for work. Maybe a client was late. Maybe our significant other got us in a bad mood in the morning. There's all these different events and all these different things and experiences that are thrown at us every single day. R is our response to those events. And our responses sometimes are conditioned negatively and sometimes they're conditioned positively. Sometimes we don't act, we react, and our responses to those events create an outcome. Now, if you are not liking the outcomes you are getting, then you need to change your response. And response is a behavior. Behavior is a choice. Now, I put a little caveat on that just because of some recent experiences in my world. But sometimes your responses are conditioned so strongly that it takes a really long time to change those responses. But if you're getting negative outcomes, it means your responses have been negative and haven't changed. So sometimes you just need to take a breath, maybe count to 10, maybe count to 100 before reacting or responding to the event so that your outcomes are changed. Because if you don't like your outcomes, you 100% need to change your responses. And like I said, sometimes those responses are preconditioned and so ingrained in our brains, or maybe our brain chemistry is wired in a way that we have to fight harder. There are people with anxiety, depression, bipolar. There are a million things that maybe get in the way of those responses. But at the end of the day, they can be reconditioned, they can be relearned, and they can be changed for better outcomes. Third Find your passion. This is a quote from Jack himself from one of his seminars, and I just want to quickly read it to you. Be clear why you're here. I believe each of us is born with a life purpose. Identifying, acknowledging, and honoring this purpose is perhaps the most important action successful people take. They take the time to understand what they're here to do, and they pursue that with passion and enthusiasm. So it's be clear why you're here, find your passion, and find people to surround yourself that have that same passion, and they're going to help keep you passionate. A lot of times, though, we get stuck on trying to figure out what that passion is. I'm just now really learning that my true passion is working with other salon owners and helping them utilize these principles to get their business into the $1 million plus club. I did it with my salon the past couple of years. We've hit that mark. It's been a really, really good feeling to know that my business has got to that point. And it's because of these principles and because of my passion of these principles. But now my passion has shifted into wanting to share these principles with other salon owners. How do you get to find your passion? First thing you can do, and I'm not going to make you do this right now because 20 things is a lot. But if you're struggling trying to figure out what your passion is and what you're here to do, make a list of 20 things that you love to do. It could be anything. It could be yoga. It could be cooking. It could be doing hair. It could be doing color. It could be doing updos. It could be doing the numbers. It could be doing the books. It could be doing the mentoring, the assistants in your salon. It could be going for drives to the beach. It could be anything. So make that list of 20 things. And when you have at least 20 things on that list, you can certainly do a lot more. Find the common denominators. Find the things that are similar, and that's probably where you're most passionate. Another way to find your passion is take some time and list 10 things that will make your personal or work life ideal. Okay, if you were fully living these things as accomplished, how would you feel? Would you feel fulfilled? Would you feel fulfilled? That's a mouthful. Sorry about that. Complete the sentence. When my life is ideal, I am successful. I am busy behind the chair. I am passionate about what I do. I am part of a creative and energizing team. I am a good mom. I am a good dad. Whatever that is, fill that out. Write those 10 things. And again, find the common denominators. That's going to help you find your passion. And in my coaching with my clients, we take a deeper dive into this, and we go into a life and vision purpose exercise that really breaks this down. And it's almost like a therapy session sometimes, where we find those things that really just get you passionate, get you excited, that feed your soul. Because overall, the first characteristic of high achievers, of people like Bill Gates, somebody like Steve Jobs, or Oprah Winfrey, anyone that's a high achiever, that we would consider a high achiever, the first characteristic they essentially all have is they have unusual clarity of their purpose, their mission, their vision, values, goals, and objectives. I'm going to say that again. They have unusual clarity of their purpose, their mission, vision, values, goals, and objectives. And they don't just have them in their business. They actually have them for all parts of their life. Personal, financial, health, fitness, diet, exercise, relationships, balance. They have clarity in all those areas. And in order for you to be successful, in order for us to be successful, we have to have that same clarity. Let's get right into number 4. So principle number 53, and this is a really good one. I think sometimes we take this for granted. Practice uncommon appreciation. And that attitude of gratitude is not just for other people in our lives, because we certainly want to have that, but we want to celebrate our own successes. How often do we take the time to think about things that have been great for us? our wins, our successes, right? We want to celebrate that, because that's how you get more. If you are constantly a Debbie Downer in life and you're not thinking about the good things that are going on, right? If you ever think about why Debbie Downers are always down, it's because they only focus on the negative things in life, right? And they're always just that. What was that Debbie Downer on SNL? It was always wah wah, right? It just, her whole life was a bunch of negative. Everything was bad. Everything was going bad. And it's easy to get caught up in that. Our brains are wired to go to that. So we have to retrain our brains. And this doesn't mean that we magically never have to deal with anything negative again. It means we have to learn how to handle them better and move on so that we can radiate positivity. And that's about celebrating our success, because your attitude directly correlates to the money you earn. If you have a negative attitude, you will never achieve a high income. You have to have a positive mindset. You have to believe it's possible. We're going to talk about that in a second. And it all starts today. So I just want you to take a second and just, if you have a piece of paper, you can write down on it. I want you to name 3 things that you're grateful for. And it could really be anything. It could be you're grateful for your dog. You're grateful for your house. You're grateful for your business. There are so many things to be grateful for. I just want you to take a second and name 3 things. And that also gave me a chance to take a sip of water. So now that you have your 3 things, I want you just to, if you can, depending on where you are, if you're someplace alone and don't feel embarrassed, name those 3 things. Say them out loud. I am grateful for my dog. I am grateful for my house. I am grateful for my business. Say them out loud. Say them loudly. And see how you feel by saying them out loud. And see if you feel any different. Did it put a smile on your face? Did it put a little extra, did your spine stand up a little bit straighter, right? You sat up a little bit straighter. Maybe you felt a little bit lighter. You felt more positive. This is actually something you can do in your next team meeting if you hold team meetings regularly. Have everyone name 3 things that they're grateful for, and then not only have them say them out loud, but have them say them out loud to other people in the room. Have them share them with each other and ask them how they feel. There's a power in saying something out loud. Just keep saying it out loud, reminding yourself. And that will change your mindset from a negative mindset into a positive mindset. It'll also, again, even if you're not a believer in the universe, whatever you want to call it, the universe will respond by giving you more things to be grateful for. Number 5, act as if. So this means a couple of different things. So success principle number 12, act as if. And this has to do with a little bit of visualization. And this has to do with the power of intention. All right. So act as if. Act as if you've already achieved all the things that you have in your dreams and goals. You already have it. Go test drive that dream car. Go to that open house for your dream vacation home, or even your dream main home. Act as if you already can afford those things and can do those things. Go to that restaurant that you've been dying to go to but keep putting off. Act as if you belong there. A lot of times, and this goes back to what we were saying earlier about negative self-talk and limiting beliefs, is we stop ourselves from achievement because we say we don't deserve this. You know, we walk, let's say you're in Vegas and you're walking through the forum shops at Caesars and you see a Prada store or the Gucci store. You think, oh, that dress is so beautiful. Or the shoes are just incredible. And when I say shoes, I'm talking about me because I do have a thing for Prada shoes. So going in and trying on those shoes. I mean, how many times have you stopped yourself from going in and because you feel like you're not going to belong there? It's going to be that Pretty Woman moment where you get laughed at. That's not going to happen. They're not going to laugh you out of the store. Go in, try something on. Just go and see and feel what it's like to have reached your dreams. Right? Go walk through that dream house. Go for a test drive in that car. They won't, if it's something they won't let you test drive, sit in the car, take a selfie. Feel what that leather feels like. Put your hands on the steering wheel. What's it like to feel like you're driving that car? That's acting as if. The other way I talk about act as if is when I do my seminars, we go through all the different jobs that are in a salon. You have the owner, you have the bookkeeper, you have the stylist, you have nail techs, you have the massage therapist, and their function in the business is to make money and act as if they are the business owners. That's why I put that meme up, that quote from Steve Harvey. Think and act like a business owner. And what you can start doing is training your staff to start thinking as if they are a business owner. They're not just an employee. They are responsible for their chair and treating their chair like a business. There's actually a good story that I like to share, something that happened to me when I was in school. And this quote may look a little silly, this sweep like you mean it. But when I was in beauty school, this is back in 1996, so this is a very, very long time ago, there was a woman that came to be a guest artist at the salon to give us a nice little motivational speech. Her name was Noelle DiCaprio, and she pretty much started the spa industry. She had the Noelle Salon and Spa up in Connecticut. She came to speak with us, and she was magnificent. At the end of the day, I was already on the clinic floor at that point, and I was sweeping up, and she walked over to me as I was sweeping, and she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I'm sweeping the floor." She said, "Oh, is that what you call it?" So she asked me for the broom, and she said, "Well, I'm going to show you how to sweep." And I'm thinking, I guess I have to learn how to sweep. Who would have thought? And she started sweeping. She sat down in a chair. She looked under things. She swept. She really swept. And she looked at me and she handed me the broom back. And she says, "If you want to be successful in this business, you have to sweep like you mean it." And it took me a really long time to really understand what she was trying to tell me. And what she was trying to teach me was that everything you have to do with the intention of doing well and doing as if you owned the place, whether you're cleaning it, whether you're doing your clients. So you have to act as if you own the place. And she taught me what it was like to sweep like an owner and to sweep like you mean it. So I love sharing that story because Noelle's unfortunately since left us due to cancer. But I mean, she was an amazing woman, and I'm so grateful that I had that experience because it's definitely has stayed with me 21 plus years in this industry. Let's talk about some steps to success. And part of what Noelle also was teaching me was that I needed to be open to learning new things and really taking on some feedback, but committing myself to constant and never-ending improvement. And that means just continuing education, whether it's business development skills for sales, whether it's technical education, learning how to do new haircuts, new color techniques, new color lines, whatever it is, learning new ways to add value to our guests when they come into the salon, leadership. We control our futures by being committed to new education, new ideas, and being able to walk up those steps to success and moving forward. Number 6. All right, here's a good one. And I think this is also a really hard one. Principle number 5, believe in yourself. You have to turn off that little voice, right? Because if you keep listening to that little voice in your head, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, you are listening to that little voice that's saying you're not good enough, you're not talented enough, you're not smart enough, you're not this enough. It's going to lessen your confidence. And the lower your confidence, the lower your income. Conversely, the higher your confidence, the higher the money that you're going to make, because confidence breeds success. Right? So know yourself, the choices you make. Again, going back into your mission and purpose, because you want to know what is your why. Why are you doing these things? right? So you can believe in yourself even more. And knowing what your vision and purpose is, because you have to have both. Vision is your future. Purpose is your will to get there. Okay? All right, turning off that little voice, because what happens is we become a person based on the story we tell ourselves in our own heads, right? And a lot of that does come from our childhood, but like I said earlier, you need to change. It's time to change. Oops, sorry about that. You need to change those I can'ts and I won'ts into I wills and I can't. A lot of times we say I can't, but that's just victim language. That's just an expression of inability. And it's really just showing to ourselves and to the world our lack of confidence. I can't do that. I'm kind of guilty of that too, because I talk about I can't do updos and I can't braid. But the actual reality is I won't do them, maybe because I'm afraid of them. I don't feel like I'm good enough in them. So then it's on me that I can change those negatives into positives by I can practice updos more. I can practice, or I will practice braiding more, right? Turning those can'ts and won'ts into cans and wills that really take us out of that victim, that inability, and into taking my power back, which is going to help, again, moving forward. I know it sounds like a cliche, but that's what it's all about. And every time you catch yourself saying can't or won't, excuse me, take a second, take a breath, because you'll catch yourself. And you won't catch yourself today, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, maybe next week. Stop yourself, count to 10, and change it to a positive. Think about how you can take that sentence you just said and turn it into a power statement of I can and I will. It becomes that it's our choice, right? Because won't sounds like a deliberate choice not to act, but it's actually a self-imposed restriction on something. So we want to take all of that away, and we want to take that power back, and we want to change those negatives and remove those limits, those self-imposed limits, so that we can get to where we want to be in our life and our career. All right, let's talk about numbers for a second. Numbers 57 and 21, you get what you focus on and keep score for success. If you own a business, and even if you're a salon owner watching this webinar right now, it's still important to know your numbers. You have to keep track of things if you want to make more money, right? If you want to be successful and earn more money, you have to measure what you want more of, right? It has to be a measurable goal, a measurable unit to keep track of, whether it's in finance, whether it's your professional goals, in schooling, health and fitness, recreation, family, friends, relationships, whatever it is. If you want them to improve, you have to be able to track it. Now, some of the numbers that we track in the salon include number of guests per month, excuse me, our average service ticket, the dollar amount, right? Average retail ticket, dollar amount, percentage of clients buying retail, and how many guests are pre-booking their next appointments, and then how many are actually coming back in general, right? These are all things that are very easily tracked by today's computer systems. There are some great systems out there. We use Harm's Millennium in the salon. It tracks this in one report. You can pull it up and see where you are as a business with all these different components. And again, I know where I want my business to be, and I know I need to keep tracking it to see how we're getting there. Whether hopefully it's quickly getting there, but no, if I'm not tracking it, then nothing's going to happen. I need to keep track of those numbers. And if you're behind the chair, if you're not a business owner, you can probably get these numbers from your manager or your owner, and just keep track of it yourself, right? Because if you're tracking your numbers, you're growing your numbers. And one number that I did hear of is 200 active clients equals a six-figure income. So you can go today, pull up that report, and see how many active guests you have in your roster. If you're at 150, fantastic. You have 50 more clients to maybe utilize a referral system to get up to that 200. But just know that 200 guests equals a 6-figure income. Okay, so we want to take some of those numbers and set some goals. And principle number 7, unleash the power of goal setting. A goal is a dream with a deadline. What that means is it's great to have dreams. Dreams are amazing. I have a million of them. But there's no deadline to them. They're not measurable. A goal needs to be measurable in time and space. How much and by when? So, for instance, instead of just saying, I want to make more money this year, well, I can make $1 more than last year, and that's technically more money, right? It's not a lot of more money, but it's technically more money. Instead, you want to say, I will have earned an annual income of $100,000 by 5 p.m. December 31st, 2017. It is measurable by time and measurable by space, right? It is measurable. I know that at 5 p.m. on December 31st, I should be able to look at my pay stub and see $100,000 or more in my gross income, right? And if let's say I get to 93,000, hey, fantastic, right? That means I still was working towards my goal. But just saying I want to make more money doesn't do anything. You want to make it measurable. So let's take an example that would work for salon owners and for stylists in the salon. Let's say you want to set goals based on your average ticket. So again, average ticket is the average amount your clients are spending each week. So if you had 100 clients that each spent $10, you divide 100 by the 10, that gives you your average ticket, right? If you want to increase your average ticket by 20%, your income will go up by 20%. That is real math, that is real science, all right there. That if, again, you're measuring it and you're keeping track of it, you can increase your income by 20%. And let's just break that down a little bit. Let's say your average ticket is $50. A 20% increase is $10, bringing us up to a $60 average ticket per client. Now, if $10 sounds like a bit too much of a jump, let's say this week you're at $50, you think it's too big of a jump to get to $60 by next week, chunk it down. So chunk it down is another one of the success principles that makes it easier to hit those breakthrough goals by making it more smaller bits to get to that bigger goal. So in this case, we're going to chunk it down to 5% increments of $2.50. And we do that 4 times. That's when we get to the $60 average ticket. How do you do it? Add-on services. Talk to your clients. It's summertime. Everyone wants face framing highlights, even if they've never had highlights in their life. Maybe they just want to brighten up around their face. A few face framing, lighter pieces you can add to your ticket. Retail. Retail is really important. For salon owners, that's the profit centers. For stylists, that's your client loyalty. If they love the products that you use, they're going to come back. And it's not about selling them. It's about educating them on what you use, why you used it, and how to use it. Other things like keratin treatments or conditioning treatments. There are so many different ways that you can add to your average ticket without breaking your client's bank. So it's not trying to overcharge and get every client to spend $400 when they just came in for a haircut. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's just saying that maybe there are windows of opportunities in your day that you could do, even as $5 for a conditioning treatment, or a hair mask, whatever you charge. Do that on a more regular basis. You'll see your average ticket go up. Basically, it comes down to, when we're talking about average ticket, lower ticket guest means you have more guests in your day, but they're spending less money and you're making less money. Your higher ticket guest You're seeing fewer guests per day, but you're making more money because they're spending more money. So again, it goes back to that 20% increase in average ticket is a 20% increase in your pocketbook or in your wallet, in your bank account, wherever you want to put that money. Your tips will be bigger, your paycheck will be bigger. Sliding into home pretty soon, we're at number 9, and this is another one that's really difficult. Believe it's possible. If you want to be successful, you have to eliminate all doubt. And this is not just the doubt that you have for yourself, because that's a really big challenge. I think most of us kind of struggle with this because we let those limiting beliefs just kind of eat us away. But you have to eliminate it. And you also have to eliminate the doubt from others around you. You cannot let other people's lack of belief in you become your lack of belief in you. I was going to try to play this video. It's about 4 minutes long, but I'll let you guys Google it because technically it's not working in my system right now. But I want you, either right after this or if you have time later today or tonight before you go to bed, I want you to Google death crawl scene from Facing the Giants. Now, I'm not a sports guy, and this is a total sports movie, and I believe it's based on a true story. And I'm not going to give too much of it away, but it comes down to the power of not only great coaching, but the power of what one person can achieve when he eliminates doubt. And just, it's an extraordinary scene. It's only about 4 minutes, but debrief the video after you're done watching it, right? Debrief, like, what happened? Why did the coach make him do what he did? And how can this relate to our lives? How can it relate to our team? Break it down. Again, it's the death crawl scene from Facing the Giants. I wish I could have gotten it to play for you here, but it's only about 4 minutes. You can watch that on your own. And now the drum roll for number 10. And it's not really a principle. It kind of sums up all the principles and sums up how you can be and how you can move forward, because just do your best. That's all you can ask of yourself. It's all you can ask of your team. It's all you can ask of people in your lives is every day, just do your best and do it with the intention of doing something good and doing it so that you can be successful. As you are successful, you will be even more successful. Just do your best. So those are the 10. Again, there are 74 principles. It's a really amazing book. I highly recommend it. I would love to keep the conversation going. Here is my information. You can call or text me. You can call my office. You can check me out online, my website, which is going to be redone later this year, so please don't judge it. It's a little dated. I fully admit that, but it is coming soon. You can email me.